Today I'm going to be breaking down the top 5 best strategies here at Townhall 16 so you can 3-star any base. So to kick things off, we're going to be coming in with Dragon Clone. Now dragons are one of the strongest troops at pretty much all of the Town Halls since you unlock them at Town Hall 7, and yeah, this is a very strong strategy. Now if you want to see all of the strategies in today's video, jump down to the chapters in the description down below. You're going to be able to see all of the different ones we're looking at, as well as grab the army links to all of them. And while you're down there, feel free to go ahead and subscribe to us here at the Barracks for lots more strategy guide videos just like this one. So let's jump straight in and break down Dragon Clone here at Town Hall 16. This is just a super strong strategy, and that is very much to do with the equipment on your heroes. That giant arrow at first, a lot of people said it wasn't that great, but actually it's able to pick up so much value. You'll see in this particular example, we're actually able to snipe off both of the air sweepers in the core as well as a couple of other buildings. So not only are we taking down the air sweepers, which of course for dragons can cause some serious issues, but we're also creating a bit of a funnel on both sides to help our troops keep into the core of the base. The next thing we're going to be doing is starting to clear a bit more of a funnel down here at that bottom section. King coming in against the enemy royal champion. King is always going to win that battle. King's equipment coming in with the rage vial and that giant gauntlet. He's going to be picking up some pretty nice value. Queen coming in with those healers from her ability. Like I said, just trying to pick up maximum value for as much as possible. Dragons then going to be coming in, balloons coming out in front to hopefully tank for some of those seeking air mines. The double book here with the Eternal Tome as well as the Healing Tome, and we're going to be holding on to that Eternal Tome ability for the very last possible second, so we can go ahead, pop it down, let that blimp get all the way into the Town Hall, and of course then we're going to be cloning up those balloons just to try and pick up as many defenses in that Town Hall compartment as possible. You can come in with more clones than this if you wish, but typically I wouldn't bring any more than 2. Sometimes you will see people doing triple clone attacks, but unless that Town Hall compartment is super stacked with like scatter shots, monolith, the Town Hall, inferno towers, you're probably not worth it. So actually just using the one there, we were able to grab a couple of other key defenses, including the multi-archer tower, and of course we took down that Town Hall itself. Royal Champion is going to be swinging on through on the back end with her equipment. If you have the electro boots or the rocket spear, I would definitely be opting to bring those, because right now in the game they are probably the strongest equipment. But we can use this equipment that we have right here, those hog riders, hopefully going to be able to pick up a little bit of damage here. But as we're coming in with an air-based strategy, coming in with a ground-based equipment isn't probably the best option. But that monolith causing us a couple of issues on the back end, but luckily the fox actually turning our royal champion invisible, allowing us to come through and triple this base. So this definitely is a super strong strategy, and one of the most important things, like I said, to do is to try and get a little bit more value from that clone spell. And when you drop down the clone spell, try to drop it in a direction rather than directly on the Town Hall. If you do that, it means all the balloons are just going to die. You want to have it slightly away from the Town Hall so those troops will path to a different defense and they won't get taken down by the Town Hall itself when it explodes. So let's jump on through to our next attack, which is going to be Super Witches. So Super Witches here at Town Hall 16 has been a very viable strategy for a long time in the meta. Of course we're up to Town Hall 17 now, but that doesn't mean that Super Witches are any less powerful down here one Town Hall below at Town Hall 16. And on this particular example, we're going to be coming in with the Fireball. Now this does take a little bit of skill, but once you've practiced and executed those Fireball attacks, you're going to be able to get some pretty good value. So let's jump in here and take a look at what we do. Grand Warden's going to be coming in to create that funnel and use his Fireball. The equipment with him, Rage Vial, and of course the Fireball, we're going to use that right there. We're then going to drop down the double Earthquake spell. Now be super careful when it comes to using those spells and equipment, because the Builder Huts can act very quickly, and if they are able to bring the buildings back up enough, the earthquakes won't be able to take them down. But what we're looking to do with the earthquake is We're going to use the invisibility spells to isolate the Warden to make sure that fireball goes the direction we want him to, and in this particular one you actually saw we were able to take down the scatter shot, the bomb tower and a few other buildings in there. But not only do we take down some of those key defenses, we create the funnel. Now the same with pretty much all attacks. You're going to want to create some kind of a funnel, and once we have done that, all we need to do is lure our Grand Warden over with the use of those Super Witches. We're going to then use the Siege Barracks over on this right hand side of the base with the Queen. Queen again going to be coming in with the Healer Puppet, the Invisibility Vial down on her in this particular example. King is going to be pushing into the core, and on this one we're bringing in those Earthquake Boots. Jump Spell is going to give us access into that first of the core compartments, holding on to all of our abilities for as long as possible. We have a couple of rage spells. You want to make sure with those rage spells you're actually catching your healers as well, because the healers are going to be doing some serious heavy lifting in these attacks to make sure they keep your troops alive for as long as possible. You'll see we've got our little Warden apprentice in there as well. His life aura is going to be doing some nice work as well. King, let's keep an eye on him. He is going to be using his ability fairly soon, and those Earthquake Boots are going to be picking up some really nice value. Queen still going super strong at that top section with those Yetis from the Siege Barracks, and there it is. The King, you can see popping his ability on the back end, and it basically acts like a massive jump spell. It opens up all those wall compartments, and it's going to allow those Super Witches and the big boys to just smash through the back end of this one. King is still going with the help of that Phoenix. A couple of Super Witches still bringing in those big boys. Royal Champion going to be coming in. Hog Riders perfectly fine on this one because it's of course a ground based attack, but we smashed through the core of this one, and even though we're starting to fade a little bit on the back end, that Queen all the way back up to full HP. We still have the Yetis, we still have the Phoenix, we still have a couple of big boys. Super Witches even are in there as well, and this one is going to be able to finish off as a triple. So Super Witches is very strong and very much still part of the meta here at Townhall 16. Definitely do not write this one off. The only thing I would say is be careful of time. Because you're doing that fireball at the start, you have to make sure you're of course executing it correctly, and it can take a little bit of time to set up. Super Witches themselves are a pretty slow troop, so be careful and mindful when it comes to the clock. The third attack we're going to be looking at today is going to be another fireball attack here, and we're going to be coming in this time with the rocket balloon. So let's take a look at this one. A little bit different to what we saw with the Super Witches. Of course, we're looking to pick up maximum value from the fireball, but we're also, of course, need to be a little bit more careful when it comes to the placement of our rocket loons. They're not just going to be all spammed in like the Super Witches. You're going to have to be fairly strategic. So let's take a look at what we do in this one. We're going to see the Grand Warden coming over here from that left hand side, and we're going to be looking to pick up as many buildings as possible with those fireballs, creating a little bit of a funnel over on that left hand side. Making sure, of course, our Grand Warden, we want him to target one of those core buildings, potentially the Expo here. So let's just keep an eye on where we might be using those invisibility spells. A couple of Clan Castle troops unfortunately did get pulled out, so the Grand Warden got held up for a little bit, but there it is right there. We use double invisibility, double earthquake spell coming down, and we get a huge amount of value there from that fireball off the Grand Warden. Townhall also took a little bit of damage, but unfortunately the builders are going to be bringing it back up. And you'll see on this one, we're going to be going pretty heavy with our heroes. The healers, of course, are going to be used fantastically to try and keep them up on full HP, and those rocket loons are going to be used around the outside on those key buildings. Typically, you're going to want to drop them down in pairs, so that's 2 at a time to take down those buildings before they are able to take down the balloons themselves. The siege machine of choice is going to be the Flame Flinger. It's going to be pretty much clearing out that entire left hand side all by itself. Grand Warden still going to be going strong. We're going to actually use the third invisibility spell down on him, allowing him just to take down the Royal Champion. His job is then to move on and hopefully take care of that Town Hall. We still have 2 rage spells just to help protect him. And here comes the skeleton spell over here on that right hand side. That's going to be coming in just to help tank a little bit so our king and our queen can do some work. We still have 7 rocket balloons, and on this one, honestly, the rocket balloons are not the main portion of the attack. They're going to be used in their pairs to take down individual defenses as the rest of our troops do that work. You'll see the flame flinger now going to be popping on that left hand side. Unfortunately, the Tesla farm was able to catch it. King and queen still going strong. We were a little bit maybe too quick with our king and queen. Unfortunately, that Grand Warden hadn't quite taken down the Town Hall, but it's not the end of the world. We do of course see the electro boots, the earthquake boots coming in on that king, allowing access right into the core of the base. The queen this time going to be coming in with the healer puppet and the invisibility vial. Yeti's going to be coming out of the flame flinger on that left hand side, helping to tidy up some of these remaining defenses. But honestly, this one is all about the heroes. The rocket loons are just used in a little bit of support. The flame flinger, you're going to have to rely on it pretty heavily to take down at least one side. And of course, that fireball at the start, able to get so much value with the double earthquake spell as well. Very, very important that you try to practice that. I would definitely recommend doing friendly challenges to practice it, dropping down those invisibility spells and then chucking that fireball in, trying to get it into the locations you want it to, just to pick up maximum value and always make sure you are taking down the defenses you want. But this third one, going to finish up with another triple. And like I said, if you want any of the links to any of these strategies, make sure you go down to the description and you can pick them up. So let's jump in and take a look at the fourth one. So this is an all-time classic here at Townhall 16 and one of the most popular strategies when Townhall 16 was the highest Town Hall, and that is of course Root Riders and Valkyries. It's a pretty easy spam strategy to be honest, and it's actually one that's still used very commonly at Townhall 17. So what you're going to want to do first of all is create a bit of a funnel. We're then going to be using our king and our queen. They're going to be coming in to take down a good chunk of the base. We're going to be funneling the opposite side with the siege barracks because of course the double P.E.K.K.A followed by those wizards are going to be picking up some pretty serious value. Once you've created enough of a funnel, you then just go ahead and spam in your Root Riders, spam those Valkyries in behind. We've got a couple of druids coming through on this one as well. The Apprentice Warden is in there somewhere. Grand Warden himself going to be coming in with the double book yet again. Of course, the king and the queen over towards that left hand side needed a little bit of support, so this time we're going to be coming in with the jump spell. Overgrowth is definitely very important in this attack. We're using it on the double scatter shot and Town Hall there in the core. You want to use it as your troops are just about to get into the core of the base so they can take down all of the other defenses you want them to. Then when the overgrowth spell wears off, your troops can then go ahead and take care of them, because if that overgrowth spell wasn't down right now, our troops would be getting absolutely crushed by the Town Hall, by the scatter shot. But you can see it's going to wear off right there, and hopefully our troops are now going to be able to swing through and take care of the Town Hall. Royal Champion going to be coming in with the Hog Rider puppet yet again and the haste file. Hog puppet, perfect equipment for this one because the ground troops of course going to help us to crush through this one. Queen still pushing on strong, still has her ability, and this by far is one of the most dominant strategies here at Townhall 16. It's really, really easy to execute. You're going to be able to triple pretty much every single time with it. Creating the funnel with our king and queen on one side, the siege barracks on the other, give it a little bit of time, and then spam in the rest of your troops right up the core of the base. Try to time that overgrowth spell just as your troops are making their way into the core so it wears off, then they can swing back round and take care of that Town Hall. But this one, finishing up with a 3-star, and this probably my favourite because it's the easiest. But we have one more attack to jump into, and it's either one you're going to love or you're going to hate. So let's jump into it. So the final strategy we're taking a look at today at Townhall 16 is going to be dragons. Now this is definitely one that people either love or they hate, but for me personally it's a great strategy because when I was up in Legends League, I'm able to just spam my attacks nice and quickly. It doesn't take too much brain power like some of those previous attacks when we were seeing fireballs and stuff like that coming in. That's really high skill cap and you really have to focus in on your game. But if like me, you're out and about, you've got a job maybe, you need to do a couple of attacks during the day, Electro Dragons are a great way just to do your attacks, get them out the way. You might not triple every single time, but more often than not, Electro Dragons are going to give you a very high percent 2-star, if not that triple. So we're going to kick off proceedings here. We're again going to be using that giant arrow, sniping off the double sweeper that are aiming down towards that bottom section of the base. King's going to be coming in to take care of 2 of those air defenses at the bottom section. You'll see his ability going to get popped off right there. We have the giant gauntlet with the rage vial as well, and then all we're going to do is spam in those Electro Dragons. Now personally, I would have came in with a blimp on this attack and I would have flown that blimp all the way through to the Town Hall, taking care of it so our Electro Dragons don't get sniped off when the time comes. But the Stone Slammer is also going to be a pretty viable option. Potentially I would use the Stone Slammer in a slightly different location, because typically the Electro Dragons are going to be doing so much damage that the Stone Slammer itself unfortunately doesn't end up picking up too much value. But you'll see on this one, rage spells are important because it's going to allow those Electro Dragons to pick up maximum damage. Maximum damage definitely going to be coming out of that Stone Slammer with all of those balloons. Multi-target Inferno going to be going down right there, and the unfortunate thing with this one, everything seems to be going away from the Town Hall, but we're going to be saved here by that Royal Champion. She's going to come in, take care of the Town Hall. Again, talking about equipment, I definitely would suggest bringing the Rocket Loon, I would definitely suggest bringing the Electro Boots is what I'm trying to say, with the Rocket Spear if you have it. If not, just bring whatever equipment you have maxed out. But this one is going to finish up a 3-star, a little bit closer than potentially we were looking for. But I think if that blimp had gone to the Town Hall, that maybe would have been a slightly easier triple on the board. But nonetheless, we're still going to get that 3-star, and Electro Dragons remain to be either a fan favourite or one of the most hated. But let me know down in the comments which one of these 5 strategies you guys have been using at Townhall 16. And I very much appreciate you watching this video. While you're down there, leave a like on the video, subscribe to us here at the Barracks, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.